Hi everyone, Bifties here. Welcome to my exile and welcome to the new cave. We moved rooms yesterday and I'm hoping that I now have a permanent setup that I can talk to you from. I put out a video a couple of days ago and it's the most watched video that I've ever made. This will be my 5th video now, so it's not as if I'm talking about a lot of videos. But it had a significant response and I would strongly encourage you to go watch it. It's not so much that you necessarily need to listen to me. If you don't want to, mute me, but go read the comments because it was incredibly interesting. Having watched the live stream with Darth and Ghazi, where GGG talked about what was coming in the first big patch, I commented that it came across to me that casual gamers, for which I describe myself as one, casual gamers are largely ignored in this patch. And from the comments that I was getting that were incredibly polarized, a lot of the hardcore or the long-time GGG fans who are clearly quite tribal in their love of Path of Exile 1, a lot of them seemed to take my comments as suggesting that I was disappointed in the game. I'm certainly not disappointed in the game. I think the game is absolutely excellent. And for someone who's only played 3 games in excess of 100 hours on Steam that I came over to it about 3 years ago, I already have over 200 hours in this game in under 5 weeks, under 6 weeks, let's call it 6 weeks. It's a fantastic game. What I was saying was that the stream that they did where they talked about the changes, not only are the changes mainly aimed at Endgame, and again, I'm not necessarily criticizing the game or the way in which they're dealing with it. What I was suggesting was that the stream itself came across as only for hardcore gamers, only for the die-hard Path of Exile 1 players. There were many things talked about that I didn't even understand. Now, I've been gaming for 40 years and I've got 200 hours in Path of Exile 2, but I didn't follow a lot of what they were talking about. And I think part of the reason that I didn't follow it is that the end game, let's say in its current state, because I do understand that it will be improved and obviously the patch is aimed at that, but the end game doesn't really excite me. And this is exactly what happened with Diablo 4. I played the campaign in Diablo 4. I've done it twice. And I think it's excellent. It's a great, fun campaign. They do lots of cutscenes, and obviously it's a much bigger production as far as presentation goes than Path of Exile 2, and I'm guessing Path of Exile 1. But when I got to Endgame in Diablo 4, I just stopped playing. I think I stopped playing it for maybe 6 months, and then in the build-up to Path of Exile 2, I actually paid, I found it on sale, so I paid again, so that I could, instead of using the Blizzard launcher, I could actually play it through Steam, and that made it nicer and easier to play it on the Steam Deck. And then I went through the campaign and I completed it again. I did that because I was really looking forward to Path of Exile 2. And I can tell you how much I was looking forward to Path of Exile 2, that I even created a YouTube channel in order to be part of the community. Not only the community of YouTube, but also the community of Path of Exile and GGG fans. Now, I seem to have upset some people, and I don't think I'm going to apologise because I think my comments were fair and a lot of people agreed with them. Fair enough, a lot of people disagreed. But I wasn't suggesting that the game's bad. So the people that suggested that I go back to D4, I think they missed my point that when I watched the stream, I didn't understand some of what they were saying. Now, it's not that what they were saying didn't apply to me. I mean, it didn't really apply to me. But it's the fact that I didn't understand it. I didn't follow. Now, if I don't follow it, there can't be any excitement about it. So I'm suggesting that maybe their focus needs to be slightly different than that of Path of Exile 1. Now, I understand that Path of Exile 1 is a free-to-play game, and there were some brilliant comments. Please go read them. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description, but just go read the comments, because they're incredibly passionate, and it's quite obvious to me after all of these comments that the GGG community, if we call it that, the players of Path of Exile 1 and Path of Exile 2, the GGG community is tribal, passionate, and incredibly articulate. They weren't really aggressive in any way. I mean, even the people that said go play D4, I mean, I took it as a suggestion rather than telling me to stop playing their game. But they were also incredibly protective of Path of Exile 2, and in conjunction with that, with Path of Exile 1. And for me to suggest that the campaign needs work, and that maybe what they should have done is not necessarily added more content for casual gamers, but maybe changed their approach. Now, I thought Darth and Ghazi were excellent, but the problem is that I would put them in the 1% of gamers. I mean, these are people that stream for 12 hours a day. Most of us won't play 12 hours in a week. So I think you understand what I mean by that. Maybe casual and hardcore is the wrong way to go, but that's kind of how I see it. I see myself as a casual gamer, even though I've put 200 hours into the game in, like I said, 5 or 6 weeks. That's a lot for me. But I've put that time in because I'm really, really enjoying the game. But when I got to Endgame with my witch and I did all of my tier 1 maps, I just couldn't really see the point in doing tier 2. Now, the comments that I received over the last couple of days have really been interesting. Some of the people told me that's what the game's about, and that the campaign is really just for a few people to play or for a few people to enjoy, but the end game is where the game's at. Now, like I said, I've reached the end game, and I've actually stopped, but I haven't stopped playing because the game is absolutely excellent. And I'm going to do some future videos because it seems like the casual gamer needs a voice here, because the hardcore gamer, the people that have been playing for so long, you know so much, and the way in which you talk, I can't even follow. And a lot of the videos that are put out offering guides and assistance, they're too complicated, or they assume that the person watching knows so much. And maybe that's true with Path of Exile 1. But I think that a lot of people that were disappointed with Diablo 4, of which I am one, I think a lot of these gamers have come over to Path of Exile 2. And I wonder if GGG need to understand the player base better. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I would love to know, what is the average amount of time played by the 500,000 people that have played it on Steam? When they did the stream, Darth and Ghazi had 25,000 people watching. And at the same time, there were 250,000 players on Steam playing Path of Exile 2. Now, there were only about 8,000 players playing Path of Exile 1. And when I looked back at the figures for Path of Exile 1, and I saw for, is it Settlers of Kalgur? Am I saying that right? Hopefully I am. When that was at its peak, when that launched, Path of Exile 1 had about 250,000 players, which is the same amount of people that were playing Path of Exile 2 when the live stream was going on. Now, probably if they were playing the game, they weren't watching the live stream, but maybe they were doing both. I don't know. But it's interesting to me. Were the 250,000 players playing Settlers of Kalgur, were they people that had played Path of Exile 1 and had just come back for the new season. Now, that makes sense because when you look at the figures, it's like they launch a new season and then all of a sudden it drops off. Then they launch a new season and all of a sudden I get that that's a live service game and that's kind of how it's going. But Path of Exile 2 is probably replacing Diablo 4. I can't see myself ever going back. I can't see myself playing Last Epoch again. A suggestion I got to a previous video was that maybe I should play Path of Exile 1 once I understand Path of Exile 2. And I think that's a fantastic idea. I plan to do that. I'm going to give a new player Path of Exile 1 experience take at some point. But there's so much content left within Path of Exile 2 that I'm going to be playing this for many more months. I think it's the only game I've played since it launched. I haven't launched any other game. But instead of playing the end game, I've gone back to the beginning of the campaign and I've played a different class. Now, there's 6 classes at the moment and each has 2 ascendancies. So potentially there's already 12 classes for me to play. I've completed it with a minion build witch and I'm on to Act 3 of Crawl with a mercenary and I'm stuck currently on Count Gianor on Crawl with my other mercenary where I was trying to do it without any grenades. But because I don't understand the passives properly, because I don't necessarily understand the support gems or exactly what works and what doesn't, I just think that there's room out there for more information. I think GGG needs to focus more on who's going to be playing it. And I think that they need more tutorials. I think they need to engage more, not with the old Path of Exile 1 community, but with the new community, of which I am a member. And there are other people that agree with me. Again, go read the comments. I think you'll agree. There are other people that really didn't follow the stream, didn't appreciate anything really that was discussed in it because none of it seemed to be for them. But we're playing the game. We're players just the same. And maybe we're not going to be giving the money. I've bought 2 supporter packs. I bought the early access. I've bought another supporter pack since. I've bought my stash tabs. I understand how much more useful they are. It really changes the game. And I'm really glad that I did it. So I'm 2 supporter packs in. I'm going to be playing it. I've created a YouTube channel for it. But I don't think that they are addressing a large portion. I'm not even saying majority. Maybe it is a majority. It could well be a majority. But they are not addressing a large part of the new community. And I think that that is a mistake. And I think that they should possibly reconsider that. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. I would absolutely love to interview GGG. I am not expecting that to happen. But what I do think that they should do is that they should maybe also do a stream with what I would consider a casual gamer, someone like myself that doesn't know everything about Path of Exile 1 and is trying to learn the game from playing Path of Exile 2, which is accessible to me and I am enjoying, but there's a problem with learning. And I think if I was to have done that interview, a lot of you would have hated it. A lot of you would have been able to answer any question that I could possibly ask. But a lot of the people watching it wouldn't have been able to, just like myself. So I don't know what you think. I really hope that this gets some views, and I really hope that you put your comments out there because I really appreciated that. I was refreshing the app all day yesterday. It was huge for me. I'm used to getting a handful of views with maybe 1 or 2 likes, maybe a comment. I got over 100 comments and they're still coming in, and it really means a lot to me. It really does. I love the game. I'm not being critical of the game. I'm not being critical. I don't hate on GGG. I think that they need to maybe look at who the new community is. They chose not to update Path of Exile 1. They chose to release a new game, and we're all playing it. So I'd like to see them address us as well. Now, they don't have to give me more content, but they do need to understand that I'm part of the community. Now, I hope that all makes sense. I really, really appreciate everybody for yesterday. Thank you for the new subscribers as well. I really, really appreciate it. This is my 5th video. It's kind of my 5th real video ever. I've only started this just a couple of days before Path of Exile 2 launched. So please give me your comments. Let me know. I understand you're all very passionate, and I really appreciate. There was almost no hate. I don't think there was any hate. That it was wonderful. It was articulate. There were these incredibly long comments, and I read everything. I'll read everything. I didn't want to get involved in the conversation because I wanted to keep it going. But I was reading them all, and I really appreciate all of you. So if you liked that video, if you like this video, please like it. I really appreciate it. Give me your comments. And if you want to see any more from me and you want to be part of my Path of Exile 2 journey, then please do subscribe to the channel. It's been fantastic. I'm really, really enjoying myself. I'm enjoying the game. I'm enjoying YouTube. I'm learning the game. I'm learning YouTube. It's absolutely stunning. I can't believe it. I'm loving it all. So thank you all very, very much. I'm Bifties. This is the New Cave. Welcome to my exile. See you all next time.